I was asked to give the Bodhisattva's breakfast reflection or breakfast corner reflection, and it's an honor. This is I've been to Sravasti Abbey over the years a lot of times, and maybe my third time as a monk. This is one of my original monastic homes. Before I was a monk, I came and spent time, and I credit the Abbey in large part for steering me towards robes, and for that I'm deeply grateful to Venerable Children and the whole community, so thank you, and for welcoming me again. During our study session today, Venerable Children was speaking a bit about, I think the analogy of Peter Pan came up. We were trying to figure out where the pixie dust came from and such, but I thought that was a good analogy, actually, in terms of looking to what the world provides us. Peter Pan kidnaps or invites these children off. And the ideal is that Neverland is a place where you never grow old. It's a place of perpetual innocence. But in Neverland, along with the Lost Boys and the games, there is Captain Hook, with one hand a hook, aversion, one hand normal, maybe grasping, and then just all delusion, and chased constantly by this alligator with a clock ticking in its belly, which is death. And to come in the company of others who understand what the world has to offer. Not that we don't approach the world with love, but that as long as we look to it for true refuge, it can never be that. Whereas if we approach it as a field of blessings and a place to give and to learn, this is the essence of the homeless life, no longer looking to it as a home, but rather as a place where we can contribute and give a gift worthy of our death and of our life. One interesting thing was during a recent discussion, it was brought up, we spoke about some of the Sangha Kammas, which the community partakes of. And these are actions that the Sangha takes as a whole. Usually they require 4 or more monastics, and they include ceremonies such as forgiveness, invitation, our once every 2-week recitation of the monastic rule, confession of offenses, entering into rains retreat, and spreading of the katina cloth. And Venerable Chodron was reflecting on how when the community began to partake of these actions, something really significant changed and shifted. A maturity came to the whole Abbey. And what that brought to mind for me was a sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, where Mahapajapati is trying to offer a robe to the Buddha, and he says, "It is more merit to offer it to the Sangha than to me." And what is the Sangha in this case than this institution, this culture, which gives rise to liberated minds and hearts, and specifically these elements of ceremony, ritual, the way we treat one another and orient ourselves constantly towards the transcendent. So in a sense, in a very real sense, once you have 4 or more monastics in one place and start to engage in these really powerful rituals and instantiation of a culture, you are in some sense creating the body of the Buddha. Whereas if someone gives to that body of monastics, it is more merit than even a gift to the Tathagata. And it's very interesting to see the hand of, in the sense I think, it's just convention, right? It's just props, the robes, the ceremony. But Long Propasano says the props are important, and truly they are, because what they create is a conduit for something much greater and more mysterious. And I've seen this very much in Seattle, where we're beginning a small monastery. At the moment, it is literally me in a hut and a website, and Ajahn Kovilo, who's there occasionally, about 3 months out of the year. And a huge element of it is surrender. So I go for alms every morning at Pike Place and wait for food. People are in turns confused, interested, inspired. But the first day I got 7 people spontaneously offering. Once they realized my bowl wasn't a drum, usually a baguette helps, sort of sticks out. And in subsequent months, I found this level of surrender to whatever mysterious force of the Dhamma moves through this world is a profound motion of the heart. And it reminds me of a story of Saint Teresa of Avila, where she was going to run away from her rich upbringing to join the saints. And she ran away in the middle of the night, and she had 1 coin to buy bread. And she heard a voice in her head that said, "Do you have faith in me or a coin?" And she said, "You, Lord." And she dropped the coin and left and became Saint Teresa. And that small difference in orientation between complete surrender and hedging your bets, it's everything. It's just 1 coin, but that 1 coin is the heart of the sasana. And the 1 coin is the hope of that relationship which will work in the future. The 1 coin is, waiting just a little longer before taking the leap you need to take. It's taking the last donut when the person behind you really wants that donut. It's every moment we have a choice to throw that coin on the ground or keep on carrying it. And when we manage to throw it on the ground, it's a huge gift to the world. I think where the Theravada and the Mahayana merge is in a word called chaga, which is variously translated as giving and giving up. And if we truly believe that the heart has an essence of bodhicitta, of lightness, then what we have to realize is that when we let go of all we are not, we come to something which could be named bodhicitta or various other words that are applied to it in the Theravada as well. And not to get into, a conceptual realm which I have little or no experience in, but just to say that the more I practice and meet beings of pure heart on both paths, I have not been able to discern a difference between those of the higher paths. And you hear stories about Ajahn Chah waking up at 3 a.m., receiving guests until 1 p.m., working until 5 p.m., then receiving guests until 7, then giving a 5-hour-long Dhamma talk to make the monks really suffer, then letting go to bed, sleep for 2 hours. This bodhicitta, or this awakened mind, and I'm not confident saying they're the same thing. I don't know. What I know is that the resonance I feel on this path is a day-to-day movement and sense, and that I sense no distance between my brothers and sisters in robes here. And that small voice of Dhamma is what's guided me and guides me back here and back to the Northwest, and I hope will guide me the rest of my life. So whether we think of what we're doing as giving or giving up, when that coin drops, your hands fill with sunlight. And sometimes people will come and offer food on alms round, and they don't realize that when they offer the meal, a meal for a monk is 3 meals. I mean, we only eat once a day. So there's always the temptation to sort of say, oh, actually, this is, I eat 3 meals right now. And, but you don't, you let go of the coin. And then walking home, this just happened a few months ago, sort of a homeless man came out of the alley with a box of protein bars. It's never happened before. And it's astounding to see how the world will carry you and hold you if you give yourself to the Dhamma, the Buddha, this path. I have no idea how to tie that back into Peter Pan. What I can tie it back into is simply the fact that people in the West love the Dhamma, the high wisdom teachings, but so much of the day-to-day life of the Sangha, of a monastic, is the unromantic vinaya, just how you behave towards your fellows in the robes, how you walk, how you move. And yet, that vinaya is this conduit. It's the body of the Buddha. It's what maintains and preserves this beautiful force that has preserved the world in a way I don't think we can calculate. And we are all stewards of that in various capacities. And as things progress over in Seattle, I hope to maintain that warm and caring relationship with what over here is so obviously an enormous blessing to the world and a powerful frame and vessel for a love that the world desperately needs. So for all of you who have gone forth, who are looking to practice more, thank you for the gift you've given to all of us, and the world needs it. And thank you for Venerable Chodron for creating this place.